I tried. I tried so hard to finish Vlogmas. I can't believe I didn't do it. Actually, I can't believe that I didn't do it. Like, I missed probably about 5 days. And that's because life is just life. And around the holidays, life gets really busy. So, I put life first. But I'm really proud of myself for finishing the 20 days that I did do. I think it was 20 days. Don't quote me on that. It was either 19 or 20 days of Vlogmas that I did, which is great though. Like 19 or 20 videos in a row, that's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. So I'm gonna finish it out today with Vlogmas day number 25. Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. If you celebrate anything else, happy holidays. I hope everyone is spending a lot of time with family and friends. I have spent my Christmas in the bed sleeping, and it has been the most wonderful thing ever. I can truly appreciate it. So as the title of the video says, we are going to be looking today at my 2019 reading goals. So I have something to show you all really quick. One second. So this is my reading journal for 2019. It's already set up. If you guys would ever like a flip through of it, just let me know. I don't think a lot of people do realize like I journal too. So, which is, I just don't talk about it. So this is my reading journal for 2019. I already have, sneak peek, I already have my 2019 reading goals set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly go through those reading goals. I know everybody's doing these videos where they're like, I'm going to look at my 2018 reading goals. And whether I finish them or not, I can already tell you I didn't finish mine. Like, by far. There's no way. I know I didn't. So I'm not going to even embarrass myself like that. So I'm just going to go through what I have planned for 2019. Goal number 1 is to lower my physical TBR by 40%. So I filmed 2 other videos in which I was discussing basically what books I had on my shelf that were unread. I did both an adult and a children middle grade and YA video. If you didn't see those videos, I can link them down in the description box. But those were the books where I was kind of like, dang, and it's not that I'm not reading, it's that I am reading a lot from the library, which isn't a bad thing. I just want to make sure that I'm also reading from my physical TBR, because what's ended up happening is that I'm reading from the library, and then I'm neglecting a lot of what I have over here. And what's interesting is that when I did all the books that I read in 2018, a lot of the majority of those books were from the library. Those weren't books that I owned. So that was a very interesting experience to kind of see that as I was filming and editing it. So by lowering my physical TBR by 40%, with all the books counted, I believe I would have to read about 80 or 90 of my own books in order for my TBR, my physical TBR, to be lower by 40%. I feel like I can do it because there's a lot of backlog stuff that I need to read. It's not an impossible goal, but it is a difficult goal. But it's something that I really want to reach because of the fact that I really need to, that's gotta come down. Like all that stuff, like all those books that I own that I have not read, like it's ridiculous. So 40% I believe is a little over 80. I think if I did my math correctly. I probably didn't, but we're gonna say about 80. We're gonna go with about 80 books off of my physical TBR for next year. So my second goal is to complete a series challenge. So I have picked out, let's see, 1, 2, 3, to follow along my book, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have picked 8 series to either catch up on and get myself to where the author is as far as publication is, or a series that I can finish. So in one of my videos I also filmed during Vlogmas, I was talking about unpopular series to read. And one of those series was Throne of Glass. So I will be reading the Throne of Glass series next year. I don't know whether I will start in January or not, because I have a lot of books that I'm currently reading that I definitely either need to finish before this year's over with, which is not going to happen because it's like 6 days left, or I need to move them into my January TBR. So I may not be able to start this until February. I'm not sure. I'll have to decide on that. But the Throne of Glass series has 7 books, which is Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Assassin's Blade, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. 7 books, and they're all extremely long, but I feel like I have 3 out of the 7 books, and I need to just go ahead and finish it and see what all the hype is about. The next book that or next series that I wanted to work on is the second book that I picked up in my reading hyped series, and it's The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. I think in that video I told you guys I did read up to book number 5 in The Mortal Instruments, and I read up to book number 3. So I haven't read Clockwork Princess yet in The Infernal Devices. So I would like to go through and reread these books just so I can refresh my mind. The first 3 I really enjoyed. City of Bones, Ashes of Glass. The Fallen Angels was one that I wasn't getting it with, and then I think I started Lost Souls and I was like, So I'm gonna start from the beginning, because I remember the gist of everything, but not the details. I know that I really did enjoy Clockwork Angel and Clockwork Prince because I thought they were written so much better, and that the second 3 books in this series were just unneeded. But I'm gonna go back and finish the 6 in The Mortal Instruments, the 3 in The Infernal Devices, as well as the Bane Chronicles, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, and start The Dark Artifices, which is Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness, so I can be caught up. That's a lot of books in the series. I won't even say, once again, it's not impossible. It is doable, but it is going to be a difficult task to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think about 14 books from one author. And she has 2 more coming out next year. So that's a lot. I can probably end up doing 1 a month or 1 to 2 a month and be completely caught up. But I will let you guys know about the progress of this. The next series that I want to complete is the Binti series by Enidia Okorafor. I have read Binti, but there's Home and The Night Masquerade. I also want to read Akata Witch and Akata Warrior by her. I think that she's a brilliant writer, and I want to get into more of her stuff, and I haven't yet. So, and these books are relatively short, and I heard Akata Witch and Akata Warrior are amazing. Or so you guys have told me in the comments. It's really amazing. So I'm really looking forward to reading these 2, and these 3, and then the 2 in the Akata Witch series. The next series I have on my goal list is the Grishaverse, and I have read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, but I need to catch up and read Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, and The Language of Thorns. I know that King of Scars comes out in January or February, but I won't be prepared to read it. So this was really good. This was a book a year ago that I ended up giving 5 out of 5 stars because I enjoyed it so much. So I think that the series definitely is worth a read. And I believe what I'll end up doing is going through and marking all my books up, but I'll talk about that in another goal list. But these 6 books I heard are well worth a read, so I will be picking these up whenever I do get the opportunity. I didn't put, this is most of Leigh Bardugo's bibliography except for Wonder Woman. I haven't decided whether I wanted to read the DC Icon series yet or not. I'm a huge DC fan. I don't know how I would feel with the characters being serialized in book format. It'd be a very strange experience for me because I've only seen them in graphic format. But I may give it a try. I don't know yet, so don't hold me to that. And the last series that I have for this challenge is the Covenant series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. There are 5 books in this series, including Half-Blood Pure, Deity, Apollyon, and Sentinel. I read Half-Blood and Pure already, but I don't really remember much. But I do know that I really enjoyed each one of these books, and I cannot wait to delve back into this world. I talked about the series in another video, and I can't remember which video it is, but this is definitely one of my favorites by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is one that I'm willing to stick with and read the spinoff series, but for now I'm just really focused on getting through the first half of this world. And I believe that these were independently published, so this is different from the Jennifer Armentrout that we typically see in like YA and new adult. The next challenge that I have is something that I saw that someone was doing on their blog, and it's called the Back to Classics challenge, and there's 12 different prompts. I have not picked out books for these prompts because I don't want to box myself in with the categories, but this is really great, or this is a great way for me to focus on reading classics again for the year, because I didn't really read any classics this past year. I think I read Animal Farm, and the children's classic I read was The Wizard of Oz. Like, that's not good. I think I can definitely do better than that. So I decided to join in on this challenge. There's 12 prompts. The first prompt is to read a 19th century classic. Second prompt is to read a 20th century classic. A classic by a female author. A classic in translation. A classic comic novel. A classic tragic novel. A very long classic, a classic novella, classic from the Americas, a classic from Africa, Asia, or Oceania, classic from a place you lived, and a classic play. So I have a couple of people in mind already that I want to choose for these, but I also think that my plan to read War and Peace and Les Mis can definitely fit into these categories. I think what I'm going to end up doing with War and Peace, since we're on the topic of classics, what I think I'm going to end up doing with War and Peace and Les Mis is taking 6 months to read each. So I think those would be my two big classics in the background of everything that I read, and I will slowly make my way through them 6 months at a time. So the first 6 months I may go ahead and just tackle War and Peace, and then the second 6 months I'll read Les Mis. So to me that sounds like a pretty good idea. So the next two things I'm going to discuss are not necessarily challenges, and I didn't even write them on my overall goal list, but they are pages that I designed for my reading journal. And the first one is buddy reads. So there's two big buddy reads that I'm going to be doing next year. Two big buddy reads. I have some buddy reads that are just one-on-one, but these two are booktube wide, and the first one is hosted by Becca, and I'll link her channel down below. She's hosting A Song of Ice and Fire, so reading all 5 books in the series so far for most of the year. So Game of Thrones will be read January and February, A Clash of Kings will be read March and April, The Storm of Swords May and June, A Feast for Crows July and August, and A Dance with Dragons September and October. I don't know anything about the 6 and 7 books. The last date that I saw was 2020, so I highly doubt that we'll get the opportunity to read book 6 or 7. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I just don't feel like it's gonna happen at all. But it'll be good because I have read Game of Thrones before, and I really enjoyed it, but it'll be nice for me to get a refresher and step back into this world again to prep myself for book 6 and 7, and also to watch the rest of the TV show. The next big buddy read that's booktube wide is being hosted by Elliot Brooks, and she's doing a Cosmere and Witcher readathon. I'm only participating in the Cosmere aspect. I'm not really interested in the Witcher series at all. So for the Cosmere readathon, we're doing Elantris in January, Warbreaker in February, of the Final Empire in April, The Well of Ascension in May, The Hero of Ages in June, Alloy of Law in July, Shadows of Self in August, Bands of Mourning in September, Way of Kings in October, Words of Radiance in November, and Oathbreaker in December. So this is definitely a way for me to read the rest of Brandon Sanderson's bibliography as it pertains to the Cosmere universe, because I've only read the Final Empire in the Cosmere universe. I read his YA stuff. I need to catch up on his middle grade stuff, but I definitely need to step more into the Cosmere, which a lot of people absolutely love. On the next page, I will be focusing on 2 manga series next year. So I will be reading manga throughout the year. Like, one of my goals is to read at least 25 manga and comics throughout the year, which is easy. I'll probably finish that within the first half of the year, because I usually do about, on average, anywhere between 40 to 50 comics and manga a year. But there's 2 series that I need to get close to working on, not necessarily finishing, but at least getting close to working on, and that's Nana by Ayazawa and One Piece by Ichiro Oda. So as y'all know, for the Nana series, I've probably read up to volume 10 or 11, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start back at volume 4, not only because it's the volume where my collection starts, I still have to get volumes 1, 2, and 3, but because this is definitely easier for me to pick up on as far as remembering what happened in the beginning. I remember a lot of what happened in volumes 1, 2, and 3. It's the middle at about like 7, 8, and 9 where I'm like, okay, what happened? I forget the small details, but volume 4, I'm definitely going to start there and try to get through all 21 volumes this year. I know it's going to hurt my feelings because it's on hiatus. I don't think it's coming back off a hiatus. It's been on hiatus since 2009, but I need to get to it and I need to read it because it is so good. It's so good, y'all. It's such a good series. If you have not read it, or if you're looking for an introduction into manga, definitely pick up Nana. It's phenomenal. Truly is phenomenal. And the second series, One Piece, as I was saying, is one that I will be buddy reading with Nisha from On the Margins of, and I will link their channel down below. And what I love about this is that so many of y'all have recommended that I read One Piece and that I stick with it and that it is a really, really good series. So what I've done is I've marked the 80 or so volumes that are out. Right now, I'm not saying that I'm going to read 80 something volumes of One Piece this year. I don't think that that's truly possible, but I at least want to get through half of what is out right now. I don't know where I'm going to put all these volumes at. I have no idea. If I find that I really, really like it, I definitely will be purchasing copies as I go. If I find that I don't really like it, I may just check the copies out from the library instead of tasking myself with reading it. But this seems like an interesting series. The artwork, from what I see, is nice. But it's a little different from what I used to, but I definitely can get used to that. It's not an issue. Looks like my final challenge on here is one that I talked about a little bit in my video in which I discussed me annotating books. And that is, I want to finish and complete annotations of all my physical books. So I know that everybody doesn't annotate all of their books, but I want to, and that's one of my goals, is that whenever I read my physical books, I want to annotate them. Some books are going to be annotated more in depth than others. Some of them are not going to require a lot of annotations. It may just boil down to me finding like cute quotes or character moments that I like. Others of them, of course, are going to be more intense. Like, I don't feel like annotating Mistborn is going to be the same thing as annotating Anna and the French Kiss. Just because Anna and the French Kiss, I feel like, is a light, fluffy contemporary, and there's not as much working with the literature as much as it would be with like reading Mistborn. So that's my personal goal. I think that it's a very good goal, and I think it'll make my personal collection very, very unique. Now, as far as my channel is concerned, I don't have a lot of goals set up for myself with my channel because I don't want to place this whole box around myself concerning my channel. I just don't want to do it. But there are a couple of things that I do want to put in place concerning my channel. I still will keep my regular uploading schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That is a really, really great schedule for me. I really enjoy it, and it allows me to put out a good amount of content for y'all without stressing myself out. I definitely want to come up with some more creative things to do. I've tried vlogging, but I think vlogging is just not getting a lot of views on my channel at all. Like, I like it, and I may just continue to do it because it's something that I enjoy, but it's not something that it seems like everybody on the channel is enjoying, so I need to think about that. Something else that I wanted to try out is more like reading diaries, which I've seen with a lot of booktubers, where you are essentially vlogging yourself reading one book, and I was really thinking about doing that for my experiences reading like my series. I think that'd be really, really fun. Other than that, like I have some things up my sleeve that I think I want to do, but I'm not gonna talk about them just yet. I'm gonna wait till next year. If there's anything that you guys particularly want to see from me in the upcoming year, let me know in the comment box below. If you guys want to see like flip throughs of my reading journal on a monthly basis, let me know. I'd definitely be willing to do that. If you would like to see more of any type of video, definitely let me know. I know that I need to start doing more book reviews on my channel. I think that would be beneficial to people out there who are looking for specific books, but y'all just let me know. Just let me know. And I think I've talked for about 25 minutes, so I'm gonna stop now and just move on, and yeah. Alright y'all, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button. As always, if you want to follow me on social media, all the links will be down in the description box. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I hope you guys have had a great one. You guys are awesome. And I thank you for sticking with me this entire year, and I look forward to building and growing in 2019. Bye y'all.